Have you ever wondered what it would be like to face the gods' wrath? Mythical monsters and endless dangers, all just to return home. This is the story of Odysseus, the clever king of Ithaca, whose journey after the Trojan War lasted 20 long years. Can you imagine that? 20 long years. He is known for his wit and courage. Odysseus' voyage is filled with thrilling adventures, from outsmarting the Cyclops Polyphemus to resisting the deadly sirens and surviving the wrath of the sea god Poseidon. His story is not just about the travel, but also about endurance, loyalty, and a deep longing for home and family. So now let's embark on the epic tale of Odysseus' incredible journey. This is Angel Amoran, and let's talk about the adventure of Odysseus. Let's go. Wait, God. After the fall of Troy, Odysseus, the clever king of Ithaca, faced a journey unlike any other. While many heroes returned home quickly or found new lands, Odysseus spent 20 long years away, 10 years fighting the war, and 10 years struggling to return. So as you all know, the Trojan War lasted for 10 long years, and also the Adventure of Odysseus took 10 long years as well. So overall, he was away from his family for 20 long years. That is a lot of years to be away from your loved ones, but this is Odysseus, and he is the smartest person, and he is the hero of the Trojan War. So his voyage was cursed by Poseidon, the god of the sea. Furious because Odysseus had blinded his son, the monstrous Cyclops Polyphemus. So what really happened with Polyphemus and Odysseus? Let us find out. So Odysseus and his men first raided the city of Ismarus, home of the Cyclones. Though victorious, they lingered too long, and the Cyclones counterattacked, killing many of Odysseus' men. Weakened, they sailed away, only to land on the island of the Lotus Eaters. Beware of the lotus fruit. It will rob you of your memory and your desire to return home, said Odysseus to his men. Some men ate the lotus and forgot their homes anyway, wanting only to stay and eat more. Odysseus dragged them back to the ships, determined to continue the journey. So you have to know that Odysseus' men are actually they have their own mind. They do things their own way, but they regret them afterwards. I should have listened to my king. They didn't listen anyway. So Odysseus had to pick up the men. He dragged them because he was eager to continue the journey. So here we move on to the cave of Polyphemus, the Cyclops. As we all know, this is the son of Poseidon, god of the sea. So next, he arrives on an island inhabited by the Cyclops. So as we all know, Cyclops is a giant with one eye. So they are monsters, of course. So Polyphemus trapped Odysseus and his men in his cave, planning to eat them one by one. We must act with cunning, not strength. When he sleeps, we will blind his single eye, said Odysseus to his men. Odysseus offered Polyphemus strong wine to make him drunk. When the Cyclops fell asleep, in this part, Odysseus offered Polyphemus strong wine to make him drunk. And when Polyphemus asked what his name is, Odysseus said, I am nobody. Yes. So let us find out why he said that. So when the Cyclops fell asleep, Odysseus and his men drove a sharpened stake into his eye. To escape, they hid beneath the bill eyes and of his sheep, seeping past the blinded giant. Cyclops, if anyone asks, tell them Odysseus blinded you. So he said, I am nobody. So if anyone asks the Cyclops Polyphemus, who blinded you? Who tried to kill you? He will just say, nobody blinded me. Nobody tried to kill me. Which is wise of Odysseus. But then, when they finally escaped, Odysseus confessed his name. He said, Cyclops, if anyone asks you, tell them Odysseus blinded you. He was too proud of himself. And that is the start of his long journey home. So, this prideful act enraged Poseidon, who vowed to make Odysseus' journey home long and full of peril. He cursed Odysseus, it will take you 10 long years to return home, Odysseus, said Poseidon. So Ilias and the bag, let's move on to the Ilias and the bag of winds. So after the Cyclops journey, on the island of Ilias, god of the winds, Odysseus was gifted a bag containing all the winds to guide him home. But his curious crew, thinking it contained treasure, opened it just as Ithaca came into sight. And guess what happened? The winds escaped, blowing the ships far away. Yes, Odysseus' men. They are just like that. They are so curious and they're just so hard-headed. They won't ever listen to their king, Odysseus. So the wind that is given by Ilias, god of winds, is supposed to guide them to return home to Ithaca, right? But then Odysseus' men opened it, and voila. So before all this happened, no, Ilias said, "Do not open this. This will guide you to return home." And then, as mentioned earlier, Odysseus' man thought that there was gold in it, because why would Odysseus guard the bag of wind? So it's not just wind, there's gold or maybe something more important. So they opened it and they flew away. No, their ships just like flew away, and then they were long gone. Okay, so after that, no, the last Trigonians attacked. So the fleet next encountered the last Trigonians, giant cannibals who destroyed all ships but Odysseus' own, killing many men. No? So after that, they were attacked, and then Odysseus lost a lot of men. So next is the Circe's island. So in the island of Aia, the sorceress Circe welcomes Odysseus' men, but soon turned them into pigs with her magic. Take this herb, moly, to resist her spells. Confront her boldly, said Odysseus' man to Odysseus. So Odysseus followed Hermes' advice, and Circe, impressed, reversed the spell. They stayed with her for a year, feasting and resting before setting sail again. No, so Odysseus asked his man to go find something to eat or something to stay, somewhere to stay rather. So Odysseus' man went along to their journey, and when they come back, one of his men were turned into a pig, and the other man was like, "Don't kill him. He's one of us." And Odysseus listened, and he followed the man, and he made Circe return the spell back. You know? Circe was too impressed of how Odysseus is so smart, so strong, and so brave. So the next is their journey to the underworld. So at Circe's command, Odysseus journeyed to the underworld to seek the prophet Tiresias, who warned him of dangers ahead and how to appease the gods to return safely. Yes. So Circe told Odysseus that if you want to go back home, you should go to the underworld and seek for the prophet Tiresias. And also, the underworld which is ruled by Hades and Persephone, is a danger itself. So Circe guide them. Circe told them what they should do and what they should not do, where they should go and where they should not go. So Circe is a lot of help for them. So next is the sirens, Scylla and Charybdis. No, so Odysseus faced deadly sea hazards next. So the sirens' enchanting song lured sailors to their doom. Yeah, so plug your ears with beeswax. Tie me to the mast no matter how I beg, said Odysseus to his men. Now, so in order to not listen to the sirens' deadly voice, they dropped a beeswax in their ears. Excuse me. So they passed the sirens safely, but then had to navigate between Scylla, a six-headed monster who snatched men from the ship, and Charybdis, a giant whirlpool threatening to swallow them whole. Odysseus chose to risk Scylla, losing a few men but saving the rest. Yes, so they had to choose, no, because there's two ways. One is where there is the monster Scylla with the six-headed monster, no, and the other one is the whirlpool, which will swallow them all. So of course, if you're a true leader, you would want to take a risk but also save your men. So he chose the Scylla. He lost men, but he did not lose all of them. He risked some of his men, because would you rather risk some of your men over all of your men, including you? So, diba? So Odysseus chose the Scylla, and he lost some of his men. So next, their journey continued to the cattle of Helios. So despite warnings, Odysseus' men, starving and desperate, slaughtered the sacred cattle of Helios, the sun god. So furious, Zeus struck their ship with a thunderbolt, drowning all but Odysseus. No, so as always, Odysseus' men did not listen to Odysseus. So what they did, they killed the cattle of Helios, the sun god, and because they were so hungry. Okay, so they had their reasons. Okay, so they killed the cattle. So Zeus attacked them with his thunderbolt. So, yep, Odysseus' man ended up dead. So only Odysseus is now alive. Only him. So this is one of the curse of Poseidon. No? He said, "You will take your journey home with no man, but only you, and it will take you a long time to return home." So this is it. Pansit. So next we have the Calypso's island. So Odysseus washed ashore on the island of Ogygia, where the nymph Calypso fell in love. So he fell in love with him, and he held him captive for 7 years, offering immortality if he stayed. Yeah, so si girly girl, in love ka si girly girl, si Calypso. So ana si Odysseus, "My heart yearns for Ithaca, for my wife and my son," said Odysseus to Calypso. Odysseus is a good man. Okay, so finally the gods ordered Calypso to release him. Odysseus built a raft and set sail once more. So yes, so Calypso was so in love, no, with Odysseus. He captured him for 7 long years. And when Odysseus asked for the gods' help, Zeus told Calypso to release Odysseus, and Calypso then gave Odysseus a raft back home. So here we have the Phaeacians and return to Ithaca. So exhausted, Odysseus reached the island of the Phaeacians, who welcomed him and provided him a ship to finally sail home. But Ithaca was no longer peaceful. Of course, their king was gone for 20 long years. It is not peaceful. It is not the same as it was before. No? So Odysseus find out that his wife had suitors. So suitors crowded his palace, trying to win his wife Penelope and seize his throne. No? So, as we all know, Penelope is a very beautiful woman and a single at the time. So there were a lot of suitors who would like to ask Penelope for her hand, and who would also like to have the throne of being a king, because there's no king naman. Wala naman si Odysseus. Yes. So next is the disguised king and the final battle. Okay. For a while. Okay, so disguised as a beggar, Odysseus endured insults and tests of patience. With the help of his son Telemachus and loyal servants, he revealed himself. No, so he disguised himself as a beggar. So the first person who knew that it was Odysseus was his nurse, was one of his servants. She was like, "You are the king Odysseus." Then later on, his son Telemachus found out that his father had returned home. So together, they defeated the suitors. So now justice will be done, said Odysseus as he drew his bow to the suitors. Yes. So he struck down the suitors, reclaiming his home and family. And it was like, "This is mine. Do not ever touch my wife. Do not ever touch my throne." Yes, girl. And you know, see, Penelope girly she is so loyal. No? She was like, so the reason why she's still single, no? So she was like, "I will sue this, and when I am done with this, you can all ask for my hand." But then every night, itong ipangtanggal yung pangtahi. So it's just a cycle, no? And then someone na siya. So Odysseus' journey was a tale of courage, cleverness, and endurance. Through storms, monsters, and God's wrath, he never gave up, showing us the power of hope and determination. Yes. No, so Odysseus endured the longest and most dangerous journey home after the fall of Troy, suffering hardships unmatched by other heroes like Aeneas. While Aeneas also wandered and faced perils before founding a new race in Italy, Odysseus spent 20 years away from Ithaca, as I mentioned earlier, 10 years fighting Troy and 10 years struggling to return home. His prolonged journey was largely due to the wrath of Poseidon, god of the sea, who was furious because Odysseus abandoned his son, the Cyclops Polyphemus. This curse caused storms, shipwrecks, and many obstacles in his voyage. No? So, there are a lot of lessons that we could learn from Odysseus, The Adventure of Odysseus, no? And I hope that you guys have watched the Trojan War, because that is why Odysseus faced all these hardships to return home. It is also a good story, guys. So you should watch or read the story. So before we end, here are the key challenges Odysseus faced on his journey. So he lost men in the battle at Ismarus in encountering the Lotus Eaters, whose magical lotus made his men forget home. No? Next is being trapped by Polyphemus, the Cyclops, while he blinded to escape the cave. Next is he received the bag of winds from Aeolus, which his crew foolishly opened, blowing them off course. Next is losing all but one ship to the Lastrygonians, giant cannibals. Next is spending a year with the sorceress Circe, who turned his men into swine before aiding their journey. Next, journeying to the underworld to consult the prophet Tiresias. Next, navigating past the Sirens, Scylla, and Charybdis, deadly sea hazards. Next, his men slaughtering the sacred cattle of the sun god Helios, leading to their destruction by Zeus. Next, being held captive for 7 years by the nymph Calypso, who wished to marry him. So finally, reaching the Phaeacians, who helped him return to Ithaca. Now, so upon returning home, Odysseus faced suitors vying for his wife Penelope's hand In his throne, disguised as a beggar, he endured insults and abuse before revealing himself and defeating the suitors with the help of his son Telemachus and loyal servants. Now, so thus Odysseus' journey was marked by divine wrath, supernatural dangers, loss, captivity, and finally a hard-fought reclaiming of his home and family. So that will be it, you guys, and I hope you learned something, and I hope that you find this story interesting, because I do, truly. The Greek mythology is very interesting, so you should watch this after watching the history of Greek. So see you in the next one. This is Angel Amorin, yes, at English 2A. See you in the next one. Bye bye.